Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's your boy SC1, and we got another custom card maker on the channel. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm a huge fan of art, and I'm loving the custom card stuff. And we got my boy Chang from CSV Sportscards on the channel today. How you doing today, Chang?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me on. It's my first interview, so kind of excited, kind of nervous, but you know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and honestly, like I said, I had to get you on the channel because I've been a fan of your stuff. We're going to get into your cards and showcase your cards just in a sec. But tell me, I mean, how did this all get started? Are you a collector first? Are you artist first? How did this all transform?
Yeah, I'm a collector first. You know, I started collecting back in '88, '89. You know, hanging out with my American friends in elementary school, and you know, you see them collecting cards. Go to the house, and they have collect Wally Joyner, Don Mattingly, Kirby Puckett, and I'm like, who are these guys? You know, and you don't know nothing about baseball cards growing up. So I kind of got into it with my friends and start buying cards in 88, 89, 90 with Griffey and
Canseco.
Just Canseco, McGuire, all those like everybody else, you know. But in 2013, I read this article about I think his name is Vincent Patrick. I think he's on Instagram too, Vinny 3D Cards or something like that. So I read his article, and he was doing 3D cards, and I kind of looked unique to me. So I said, yeah, I want to do that too. You know, I want to learn. So he inspired me. So I started, like, you know how we're collecting. We have so many commons and so many stuff that we don't know what to do with the commons and stuff like that. So I said, well, let me start cutting some up and test my skills. You know, test my knife skills. So I started doing some, and took me a while. Took me like 6 months when I started to really get down the cuts to the images, close to the image as possible, to make them clean, to make them presentable. So yeah, I started doing cutting cards since 2013, 14, and been doing it since. And I still love collecting, so I kind of do custom cards on the side too, as a hobby.
Yeah, and so as a custom card maker, you kind of have to be still collecting because you got to know what the new products are. You got to know what the frames are. You got to know what the the style of cards that are coming out and all that stuff. So it kind of handcuffs you, but helps support your hobby, right?
Yep. Plus, you got to follow up the sport, know what's hot, what's not, and kind of give people what they want. You know, like right now, custom card. A lot of people like the shiny stuff. You know, they want to add in all the refractors and the shiny stuff in there. So sometimes I kind of go with the card of original card, but sometimes customers, they want shiny stuff, so I add shiny stuff to it.
So that's an interesting thing that you bring up. So you've been doing this since 2013, and I mean, if you're talking about 2013, you know. Yeah, there was a little bit of shiny stuff, but not as what it is now.
Yeah, not that much.
So when it started, when did you start seeing the evolution of people saying, hey, I want something sparkly? You know?
I would say when COVID happened and when Project 2020 came out and Project 70 came out, and that's when you start having all these card artists come out, right? And I noticed that in 2020, 2021, like a lot of new artists start coming out and start adding different stuff like refractors and stuff like that to the cards, and that kind of got me going too. You know, like I could add more stuff to what I'm doing right now instead of just cutting the original cards and making it look good. I could add refractors and add colors to it to make it look good too.
Got you. Is there a specific sport you like to stick to, or is it kind of just you're good at whatever sport everyone's asking for?
I could do whatever sport that the customer's asking for, or I could do personal stuff like personal kids, birthdays, and stuff like that. So,
oh wow!
Yeah, I could do because I could use the concept just to make anything. You know?
Yeah,
it's all the same concept.
Oh, that's cool. So how thick of the cards, how many layers can you actually, that's the max you've ever done in terms of layer of a custom card?
Layers of cards? I try to keep them thin, but the max I use is 3 cards.
Okay.
3 cards, and I use a spacer between the cards. I could go as high as I want or as low as I want. So it's kind of like a shadow box, So you just um, build it high or low, the height that you need it. So, but I usually just use 2 or 3 cards.
Okay, so in terms of thickness, and you're using a spacer, that what
Yeah.
calculates to what 180 point max, I think is what it probably could go to.
Uh, Mine are like 100 to 130
Okay.
or less. But I see guys that have built it up to like 360,
Oh wow.
um, like really thick.
They make
So
top
it
loaders for
depends
that.
on. Yeah, they got the mags for that. So it depends on what kind of relic I'm using inside. So if I'm using a thick one, then I have to build my spacer kind of thick to fit the relic.
Got you, got you.
Yeah.
So before we start showcasing your cards, so what teams do you personally PC?
Right now, as of right now, I like Jeter. I like Jeter and the Yankees. Remember, I do love the Cubs, right? Cubs are my first love. Cubs are my first love, and good thing you brought out the Cubs jersey. Yeah, I've been following the Cubs since um, 88, 89, Sandberg, Grace, Dawson, and stuff like that. I PC Sandberg in the 80s. You know?
Oh
So
man,
yeah,
love some
Cubs,
Rhino.
yeah, Cubs and Yankees right now.
Okay, so I mean, it's funny you say that because I'm not a Yankee fan, but
Yeah.
the very first Project 70 card I purchased was I'm a fan of DJ Ski, and
Okay.
got to meet him a couple times. And DJ Ski did the Derek Jeter, and when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame, and so he did the Derek Jeter card with the Wu-Tang, with the Wu-Tang Enter the 36 Chamber album. And he meshed that all up, and that's actually my first Project 70 purchase was Derek Jeter. So
Yeah.
even though I'm not a Yankee fan, I mean,
Yeah.
Mr. Captain, he was just amazing to be able to watch. It's like how excited we are in this day and age to be able to watch Tiger Woods, to watch Tom Brady, to watch Peyton Manning. Being able to have watched Derek Jeter at shortstop was probably one of the most amazing things for me as a fan. So are you just mainly baseball a fan, or do you also like basketball and football?
No, I like all sports. I like all sports. Baseball because I collect, so I got to follow up with all the sports. See what players are hot, what players are doing well. So I like baseball, football, soccer, all the major sports.
Oh, nice. Curling?
Yeah.
I'm just joking. So let's get into the scene here. Let's start off. I mean, this is an exquisite card. It looks like it's Jordan with the wings. Now we have a Kobe with the wings. I'm gonna pause the slideshow and let's just talk about this. I mean, it looks like in the background we kind of got it looks like somewhat carbon fiber, but not really carbon fiber. And then we add wings.
Yeah. So in the back, it's kind of like carbon fiber, but it's not. But I want to add that because it's kind of like Black Mamba because I wanted the snake skin in the background.
Okay.
And with the wings, I wanted to think outside the box. I wanted to do something different because custom cards, we all kind of create the same things, over and over again. So like I want to do something different, So I every time I go to like a hobby store and stuff, I would go through the aisles and see what I could use for cards and stuff like that. How can I improve on the card? So I saw these wings and I was like, man, I could use these wings on some of the players that that could really fly, in sports. So I said, let me test them out. So Kobe was the second one that I tested the wings out, and it came out good. It looked good. And what I'm trying to do to take it to the next level is I'm gonna color the wings to the team colors.
Oh.
So yeah, if a customer wants team colors, then I can color the wings too now.
Interesting. So as I'm looking at this, it looks like it's in a one touch. But how did you get the wing? So are the wings completely outside of the one touch? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it kind of comes outside. Yeah,
Gotcha.
because I wanted the wings to be out because I wanted the card to make it seem like it's coming out of the card and it's gonna fly. So I wanted that effect.
Yeah. No, you definitely did that. Now that you're explaining it, yeah, no, that makes total sense. It's like a pop-up book.
Yeah.
The old pop-up books when you pull it out and the
Yeah,
wings started
because
going.
I just didn't want it to be flat or stuff like that. So I want it to be more like 3D and the card to really come out.
Oh, nice. No, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And so this is when I first saw this one. As you guys
Yeah.
can see, so the guys that stay to the channel, true to the channel, know I'm a diehard Cubs fan. I literally grew up a block away from Wrigley Field. So
Nice.
I got to grow up listening to Harry Carey, seeing the seventh inning stretch all the time. Got to see foul balls onto Waveland and Sheffield, like it was normal day batting practice or what have you. It was just normal day in life during the time I grew up there. So when I first saw this card, it like sunk my heart because, they left us. We had to get rid of them last year. You know what I mean? But they were probably the best duo the Cubs have ever had. And what's interesting about this is how you took the Brizzo, but you also have 3 different images for each of the letters, which I think is very, very cool. So, as a Cubs guy, if Cubs is your heart, when you created this card, did you create extras for yourself, or do you just kind of get rid of them all?
I create them as it was my own piece, But if somebody likes it and somebody wants it, then I'm happy to share my work with others too. So, but majority of stuff I create is just Jeter for my PC. But everything else, I'm willing and able to move it too.
Got you. Oh, that's totally cool. And like I said, to give you guys a closer look at these cards, I mean, those are stitched patches right in the background with the letters, right?
Yes. There are iron-on letter patches.
Oh man, I mean it's so amazing being able to see this card, and just imagine it on a wall. And I'm assuming the person that bought this bought all 6 cards. They didn't just buy like the Z.
I still have the set with me because the person is still debating if they want it or not, but I'm pretty sure they will. But I still have the set, and I'm holding on until they're ready.
Oh,
but
nice.
the images I could use either the same images if I want to choose the same images, or I could cut out different images like how I did there. So it just depends on how I want to build the set with the card.
Yeah, and it's all custom, so it's whatever you choose, whatever. So when it comes into creating a card, and someone reaches out to you and they say, "Hey, I just want this," do they kind of give you an idea of what to build, or they just say, "Hey, I want this. If you could throw some team colors, put it together, and let me know"? Like, how does that all work?
I get it both ways. Some people, they just say, "Hey, you're the artist. I just want this and that," and you could design it, make it however you want to. Or some have ideas of what they want to do, and then I try to take it in and then incorporate it and try to make it for them.
Got you. Yeah, and see, I kind of don't want to switch screens because I just love admiring the card. But this is another one for me that was just wow. You know what I mean? It's one of those. I'm not a Kobe Bryant fan because I'm a Bulls guy. When he was growing up, me and him are the same age. So ever since he got drafted, me and one of the other guys' jerseys, we talked about him when he was drafted. And we were excited because he was so young, he's getting into the league. And then I started seeing him play, and I'm like, hey, this guy's a copycat of Michael Jordan. It's like,
Exactly.
wait a second, what is this guy doing? And so as he grew on in his career, I have to admit, I get a lot of slack for this, but as LeBron came into the league, LeBron is actually one of the reasons why I started becoming a fan of Kobe towards the end of his career. And the reason why is because, one, we're the same age. 2, he's been in the league with the same team. He was him and Tim Duncan were the last of the breed to ride and die with that team. So LeBron is one of those guys that kind of pushed me onto him. And of course, when he passed away, it just ultimately broke my heart. But Kobe, this is old Kobe too, because that's the number 8 Kobe.
Yeah.
So what was the idea when you put this one together?
Okay. For this one, like the first custom cards that I did was actually 3Ds like this. So remember when I told you the story where I saw Vincent Patrick do his 3D? he did the images. He cut the images and just stacked them on top of each other to make it look 3D. But I wanted to do mine different to stagger them to make it more like a motion.
Yeah.
So 3D is my first custom cards that concept that I really did. So these are the first ones that I still have.
Okay.
3D. Yeah. So these are the first ones from 2014 when I started doing custom cards. These are the commons that I tested out on. So
is that Kurt
yeah.
Suzuki? Is that what I'm reading that?
Yeah, Kurt Suzuki is the A.
So
yeah.
Kurt Suzuki, little known fact, Suzuki is first cousins with Shane Victorino. They're both Hawaiian. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah. So that's actually really, really cool. So you took that same concept, gave him some motion, and that's what transpired onto this card. So
so I started doing 3D first, and then that's when I said I told you when I saw other artists started incorporating different colors, refractors and stuff like that. So I kind of changed. I could still do my 3D stuff, and I could add more stuff to it. But that's when I started adding refractors, starting adding colors to it to since like other artists are doing that too. So I wanted to change it up also.
Got you. So this is another one that was actually really awesome too. I mean, Penny Hardaway, everyone knows who Penny Hardaway was. He was literally an injury away from being, an elite player. Unfortunately, we all know the story about Penny. Just injuries just piled up, but we all thought he was going to be the next guy. We all thought that Jordan was going to pass the torch to him. And but seeing this same thing as that Brizzle card, the creativity that goes behind it is something so cool. So I don't know if you know the company, heard of the company called Show Your Slabs. But Show Your Slabs, they have what they do is they make basically wall art for your slabs. So they make it for PSA, they make it for HGA and all that stuff. So it looks like all your stuff is like in one touches. So if you were to put this card up against the wall, is it completely secure and doesn't fall out of the one touch? It fits completely in the one touch, correct?
Yeah, it fits in the one touch, and it won't fall out if it's in the one touch.
Got you.
It's not, then it could flip out.
Got you. So like for instance, here's a closer look at one of the pennies. So if the ones with the wings, how they're on the outside. How do you enclose it, or is it just coming out? That's the way you just set it up.
Well, that one you can't enclose it inside a mag. So I'm still trying to work something like a custom case where you could enclose the card in. Okay. But I do have a box that will fit the card in there where it won't move and it'll display nicely inside the box.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So but see, this rights traded to Orlando. So I mean, do you remember what year this card was?
I think it's 93 when he first got drafted. Yeah, I just love his game coming in, and him and Shaq, him coming in as a rookie. His game was like so smooth, and he could do it all. He could score, he could dunk, he could shoot the three, and it's like I love his game. And you play basketball, you try to do what he did.
Yeah, and if you guys can't notice, the background of the card is nothing but pennies. So that is very, very innovative. That is super, super cool. This is another one to me where when you shared it with me, I was just like mind blown because it's the Ken Griffey. You have the bubble gum, right? And then you get to the next screen and you see the bazooka. And you go through and you can pull the bazooka out and ta-da, there's a piece of gum. So how did this come about? How did this idea happen?
Well, with the bazooka gum, there hasn't been like a dispensing bubble gum card before. So I said I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna see if it works. So I got the gum. I cut the gum in half to fit inside of my border, and so I made the spacing so that it could slide in and out, and I tried it out and it looked good and it worked. So that's how I got the first dispensing gum card. So like I said, with the wings and stuff, I wanted to try something new that hasn't been done yet. So,
Yeah. And so when you're talking about creating stuff new, what do you look for in terms of like motivation, like for creativity? Like, do you just look around? Do you watch sports? You watch TV shows, and or just walking through a store and you're just like, hey, I could try to make a card out of that. Like, what is the creative process? Is it just do you talk to other people and they kind of give you ideas and you just put it to paper, or is a lot of stuff very original?
no, it's just stuff that you look around, you read magazines and stuff like that, and you read about players' bios and see what they like, and all the stuff that you grow up watching, and it's all in your head, and you just kind of go off of that and trying to build a card that kind of makes sense with the player too, or what the card is saying. Let's say like a card said "Eyes on the Prize," and eyes on the prize, and I could do something with by like eyes, eyes, and put that in the background too. So it depends on what the card is saying on the border and stuff like that, or it just depends on what goes good with the players.
Got you.
Yeah.
So
Like with Penny, then I say, oh, Penny, I could add pennies to the background, but those pennies are like 1974 pennies, the year that he was born.
oh
So I
wow.
only yeah, they're all 1970 except for like 5 pennies that I couldn't find in my piggy bank. So
I mean,
I had to use like 5 different ones.
when you put it into that context, because it's funny you say that, because my cousin a long time ago used to collect dollar bills. Back
Yeah.
before cell phones, before social media and all that stuff. We did little things, and he had a girlfriend at the time, and every dollar that had the letter B on it, for
Yeah.
his girlfriend, he would trade us a regular dollar for those B's. So, he had a stack of dollar bills with just the letter B on it. And I remember how long it took him to get that many dollar bills with just the letter B on it. And so,
Yeah.
you telling me that you had to look for specific years of the year he was born, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's probably was a pretty lengthy thing for you, because I mean, the penny's been around for how many years.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
is. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
so
Go ahead.
with the theme of the cards, say like I remember maybe like in 2008, 2009, Topps did like U.S. Treasury basketball cards, right? Kind of with the money theme in the background, in the back. So like with that, I could cut it up and use dollar bills, or in the background, because it kind of goes with the same theme. Yes, Treasury, and then money. So I've done that before too.
Oh, nice. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's very interesting, because that's kind of like metaphors, like in hip
Yeah.
hop. Like I'm a big hip hop fan, so I like rap and all that stuff. They do a lot of metaphors, so they think of things and they kind of
Hmm.
use different things. So same concept for you when it comes to your art. You think of the style
Yeah.
of the card, and you just kind of say, okay, what can I use for a background? What can we do to talk about this card? So here's the Jordan that was initially at the first one, and the bottom says the best. I can't make out the letters what it says, but it does say Jordan because of the wings, right?
Yeah, you talking about the letters inside the card?
Yes, the letters inside the card.
Yeah, it says Jordan. It's kind of embossed on the card, Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And on the right, the red. What is the red?
But the red, that's just the original card in the back.
Got you. And
All I did was just cut out the top card and added the wings, but everything else is original card.
nice. Okay, so
Yeah.
on this card itself, this was if I'm looking at the year, am I reading that right? 1999 Upper Deck.
Yeah.
So on cards like this, when you have ideas
Mhm.
and you want to put it together, like the wings, like you Jordan
Mhm.
wings, did you actually have this card lying around in your PC, or did you actually go searching for the card?
No, I went to the card shop, and I was just looking through cards, and like I need to find the perfect image to fit with the wings, because I can't find an image that's too small that it wouldn't look good with the wings. I can't find an image that's too big and it wouldn't look good with wings. So I need to find kind of the right image, or the right position to make it line up with the wings to make it look good.
Got you.
That one kind of worked out.
So, are you that guy when you go to a card show or go to a card shop? Are you the guy shuffling through the quarter? Yes, and then
Hey, I like the 5 cent and 10 cent box better. So.
Yeah. That's exactly, because I mean, to be able to find the card that you're looking for, right? Like, again, even though I'm a Jordan fan, I wouldn't remember this card just off the top of my head. Jordan has 1 million cards printed.
Yeah, 1 million. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to pull this out of my head. So I could just imagine, like, you had an idea and then you just got to go searching for it. And it's not like you could go online and just go through like a scroll of this Jordan cards, right? You have to go searching for the style of cards. So I could just imagine like you going to a comic book store, a sports card store, and you seeing the 5 to 10 cent boxes, and you're just you're just going like this. And that takes a long time to do.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
I do go through eBay. I do put in the player search and look through all. I put the lowest price first and look through all those cards and see which ones I like and get the cheapest one that I can find, or the ones that will work for me. I do spend a lot of time on eBay, a lot of time on Facebook buying stuff and buying the cards that I need, and a lot of time at the card shows too.
Nice.
So yeah, everything needs to work out. Like if you find one card and you need the back card and you can't find the back card, so maybe you might have to do a new one, or you have to wait for months just to buy another one. So it does take time to do.
So from start to finish, someone gives you an order. How long generally does it take for you to complete a card?
So if I have everything ready to go from start to finish, I could get it down to like just the regular cuts without adding a lot of stuff. I could do under 30 minutes.
Oh wow!
But if it's longer, then might be like 1 hour, 2 hours.
Okay, so turn time. If someone were to place an order today and you just had the materials ready, in essence, you could take an order today and get it in the mail tomorrow.
Yeah. If I want to get it done.
Yeah, but of course you got kids, and I know how life gets.
Yeah.
So no, I get it. No, but that is completely awesome. Now, as far as selling the cards and all that stuff, what is the main platform you like to communicate on? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it Twitter? Or all of them you're pretty active on?
Mostly all my transactions just been on Facebook through repeat buyers and new buyers that see my stuff. And just like last year, I came onto Instagram. I found Instagram. I've been posting my stuff a lot there and met a lot of talented card artists on there. There's a lot of them out there, so just have to keep creating new ideas. But Facebook is my main platform, and starting to do shows now too. I did 3 so far this year, so I plan to do more shows, get my work out there too.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, trade nights is always a big thing that I've seen in custom cards. And I had the pleasure of doing another one with another guy named LJ. LJ Sportscards, I think is what it's called, or it's LJ Custom Cards.
LJ, okay.
Yeah, LJ, he's a really cool guy, and he was telling me, he's a collector too. And when he first went to a card show to go trade, he made all these like rookies and all that stuff. And then he quickly found out that people aren't really into rookies like that in the custom card world. That you got to go for the big stars, and the big stars is what the hot maker is. Is that the same kind of thing that you're finding in your search of or in your experience of doing custom cards? Are you finding that the bigger name players is more common of a request than a rookie?
Yeah, I think right now, like the bigger names and the hot players are in demand. Like people want them more. But for me, I like to just do whatever that I feel like doing. Whatever I feel, whatever sport, whatever player. But if I'm doing shows, then I would tend to do more players that's from that city or from that area. Like I went to the Bay Area show last week, and I did some Currys, I did some Warriors, did some of the stuff for the Bay Area people. So, yeah.
Nice. So, on that note, we're gonna go back to the main screen here. So, on that note, I know you're in the Bay Area or in Sacramento.
Close by, yeah.
Yeah, close by. Are you a Kings fan, or are you still supporting the Bulls?
No, even though I live here, I was never a Kings fan. You know, I would go to the games, take my boys to the games, but just go, root for the other team. You know, I don't know what's wrong with the Kings. You know, the Kings can't get it right. You know.
Yeah.
So
I during the years of Mike Bibby, even Jason Williams before Mike Bibby and Chris Webber. I mean, those were some really fun years of the Kings. Like Pages.
I love those years.
Yeah, they were this close, this close of getting past the hump.
One rebound, man. One rebound.
Yeah, one bloody D-box rebound that way, and Kings were in the finals. But we all know what happened. Ball lands on Robert Ory's lap. Ory hits a three. Crowd goes wild. Goes to game. They push it to Game 7, and they want to go into the finals. But yeah,
that's all we hear every year is those Kings back in the days. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. Like the Kings is one of those teams like the Clippers. Unfortunately, love you Clipper fans, but they're like the Clippers, where they seem like they're gonna try to be competitive, but then they just get uncompetitive really, really fast. So it's it's just one of those things. But the Kings. So if you're not a Kings fan, who's your team?
Oh, my team is the Bulls. Okay. Like I said, I told you, I'm from Chicago, so Jordan and the Bulls back in the '90s. I love them. Then after Jordan retired, then I just started watching players like Kobe, watching like LeBron, and that's it. But right now, I don't have a basketball team.
I got you.
Just watch players right now.
And for me, I'm that nut. I tried to root for other teams during the downtime of the Bulls. I tried to say I was a fan, but it felt like I was cheating on my wife. Like it didn't feel right. I'd rather not watch the sport than have to say I'm a fan of another team. So I'm that knucklehead that is ride or die for the Bulls, even through the bad years, even when we had Ron Artest, Ron Mercer, those guys. Like I stayed a fan throughout the years of the hard times, man. But we're wrapping up. We're about approaching 30 minutes on this conversation, Chang. I appreciate you taking time out of the day, showcasing your work onto this. For you guys that are watching, CSV Sportscards, as you can see in the logo, all his contact information is on there. Follow him on socials, request orders, and he'll take care of you. Now, before I cut this off, Chang, do you have any last parting words you want to get out there?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to 77 Breaks, and thank you so much. This is my first interview that I talked about my custom cards, or first interview about sports cards. So, I'm glad that I had a chance to talk to you and share my ideas, share my concepts, and share my card art and my information out to the people. So, 77 Breaks. How long have you been doing breaks?
Yeah, for about a year and a half right now. So
year and a half? Okay.
Yeah, a year and a half. The whole like everybody got back into COVID, and we're all childhood friends, and this is what brought us back together. Collecting cards, and then we're like, hey, let's start a break channel. Okay, let's do it. And next thing you know, it was just that way to reconnect with some guys that I've known in my teen years. It's really, really cool. So we've been enjoying this ride. I've been enjoying being able to talk to so many good people in the hobby, showcasing different artwork like yourself, different products.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm a big fan of art. So the creative process that comes behind it is it's an amazing thing to see actually put together. So thank you for being able to share your work with us today. But I'm your boy SE1. That's Chang from CSV Sportscards. This is Meet the Hobby, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace out, guys.
Peace out. Thank you.